Kilayim Perek Gimel Mishnah Vav. Perek Gimel Mishnah Vav. Says the Mishnah, if I have my field planted onions, and I want to plant in the middle of the field rows of gourds. Now remember, gourds are problematic, as you all know from your farming experience, that gourds are very, very leafy. Onions, not so much, but gourds are very, very leafy. Okay, so then we're going to use some visual aids in this example. So here's our Mishnah, okay? I drew it pretty carefully. Why? These are our rows of bitzalim. Red is onions. Green are gourds. So I have rows of onions, and I made it in such a way, you just have to imagine we're looking from a bird's eye view above. We're above the field, okay? And I drew it in such a way, remember the farmers would plant on a ridge. They would plow in between, and then they would plant on a ridge. So each one of these is a row, but you can see that the onions are planted in the middle of the ridge. That's important for us to know, okay? So it says so here I have onions, and now each row, just for example, is 4 amot wide. Remember, we're looking at it from above, so we're Google view from above. So each row is 4 amot wide. 2 rows is 8 amot. 3 rows is 12 amot, and you'll understand why I'm giving you this in a minute. Okay, so now for whatever reason, I want to uproot onions and plant gourds, and obviously we have Kilayim issues. Can I do that? How do I do that? Says the Mishnah. Let's read it again. Haytasa ideu zu abitzalim, uvakesh dita betocha shurot shel diluim. Rabbi Yishmael says, oker shtei shurot venotea shura achat. You uproot shtei shurot, 2 rows, venotea shura achat, and then you plant 1 row. Umenia kamat betzalim b'makom shtei shurot. And then you leave 2 rows. What this means is you leave 2 rows of onions in the place of, 2 rows of onions as they were. And then again, ve'oker shtei shurot ve'notea shura achat. So says Rabbi Yishmael, every time I want to plant, I can uproot 2 rows and then plant 1 row in between. Okay? So I take out the space of 8 amot and I can plant 1 row of gourds in between. Okay? Then I leave 2 rows. Then I take out 2 more rows. Okay, I can uproot those 2 rows, and I leave 1 in between. Because the opinion, Rabbi Yishmael's opinion is, now look, I have this is my 12 on my measurement. I did this very cleverly. Okay? So how far in between every gourd? Between gourds, Rabbi Yishmael felt, let me just change the fill. Let's make it white. Okay? Here's, in between, you see the edge of this row of gourds and that row of gourds. There's 12 amot between every row of gourds. Plus, Rabbi Yishmael felt that I needed to have this empty space in the field as a separation between the onions and the gourds. That was what I had to have in order to be able to plant. That's Rabbi Yishmael's position. Oker shtei shurot v'neteh shura achat. I got rid of 2 and planted 1 in the middle, and then I left kamat betzalim b'mkom shtei shurot, left 2 rows. Then oker shtei shurot v'neteh shura achat. Again and again, I can do it over and over again. So 1 and blank space in between, so that there is 12 amot between every row, 1 row of gourds and the other. That's Rabbi Yishmael's position. Next, Rabbi Akiva Omer, oker shtei shurot v'notea shtei shurot. Umeni akamat betzalim b'makom shtei shurot, ve'oker shtei shurot v'notea shtei shurot. So now let's understand Rabbi Akiva in the chart. Rabbi Akiva says, I get rid of 2 rows, but instead of placing 1, Rabbi Akiva says, no, you can place 2. Okay? I can plant 2 rows. I don't need that backspace. Then I leave 2 rows. Then again, I can be oker shtei shurot. I get rid of 2 more rows. Okay? I get rid of those 2 more rows. And then I can plant 2 more rows. So, according to Rabbi Akiva, they don't have to be 12 amot apart. How far apart do they have to be? They just have to be 8 amot apart. Leave that on the side. Rabbi Akiva felt that they only had to be 8 amos apart. What about the separation between gourd and onion? So remember, as I drew this, each one is on a telem. It's on a rise. If we would look at it from the side view, we would see, I'm just going to look at it backwards, it would go up and down, and the onions are planted at the top here. So there's this bottom, there's a ditch in between that the plow plowed in between. Rabbi Akiva felt that was sufficient. Back to our Mishnah. V'chachamim omrim, Im ein ben shura lechaverta shteim esrei ama. If there isn't in between each row and its friend, i.e., here we're talking about, let's see for a second. Charamim ki Rabbi Yishmael, right? Shurashal dluim l'chavertal. So let's go back above. If there isn't between one row of dluim, of gourds, and its fellow and its friend, shtei masay hama, 12 amot, lo yekayim et hazeh shel beintayim. If you want to take out, let's go to the Chachamim. If you want to take out 2 rows or 3 rows, okay, that's fine. You don't want to do that. You want to maximize your field. So therefore, Rabbi Kiva says, Rabbi Chachamim say, yes, you had to have 12 amot in between every row of gourds. But the Yerushalmi explains, that was like, so they agreed. Remember, we saw according to Rabbi Yishmael, remember he said 12 amot in between. But they don't think you have to have empty space. The Chachamim agreed with Rabbi Akiva that you can plant straight up. So, so I have to I have 1, and then I have to do 1, 2, 3, leave it, and then I could take out another one, and in this way, I don't waste any space. They agree with Rabbi Akiva you don't have to leave space, but they agree with Rabbi Yishmael that you have to have a distance of 12 amot between one row of gourds and another. Okay, so it's somewhat of a combination. Here, therefore, the separation, they hold like Rabbi Akiva, that the telem in between is enough. But vis-a-vis the 12 amot between gourds, since gourds grew so wild, since the leaves grew so wild, you had to have 12 amot in between each one. Okay, I hope that was relatively clear as possibly can be, with the drawings that I gave you. If you have any comments or questions, of course, please feel free to contact me at rspolter@gmail.com. And we'll dedicate the learning of this Mishnah to the memory of my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.